When when President Starr presented this to me just a moment ago, her final words were honoris causa. Now, I've heard that phrase at other occasions like this, so I looked it up. And you classics majors already know this, of course, but it turns out that honoris causa translates as, we're just pretending to grant you this doctorate, so don't let it go to your head. I promise to try. I am, in fact, deeply honored and pleased, and I thank the trustees, the faculty, President Starr, and also Professor Yamashita for your very kind and articulate words. As Sam said, my dad enrolled at Pomona 90 years ago, and ever since, the college has been a core passion for my family and for me, and it continues forward now with my daughter Mackenzie as a trustee. Dad also received an honorary degree from Pomona College 37 years ago, and his life of service to others has been an inspiration to me, and so I feel him here with me today, and that makes this moment profoundly meaningful for me. So thank you once again. Congratulations to the prodigious and persevering graduates of 2022. It wasn't easy, but you have made it. And I offer my congratulations to your families as well. A while back, I saw a New Yorker cartoon that showed a mom and a dad and their high school son in the family kitchen. And the mom speaks, and she says, "Son, your father and I have decided to completely support you for the rest of your life. We've calculated that will be cheaper than sending you to college." Now, I get it. I put 4 kids through private school, so I know what that means. But this cartoon is, of course, apocryphal. The value proposition offered by places like Pomona is extraordinarily favorable. Actually, it's a rather brilliant investment on your part. And the benefits should ripple far beyond your families and your communities, as I will explain. But to get the economic return issue out of the way, the data consistently show that liberal arts graduates do earn more in the long run than those that specialize early. Your intellectual agility will prevail, and as you've probably heard before, those specialists are going to end up working for you. More importantly, as a president of Yale observed, the most fundamental value of a liberal education is that it makes life more interesting. That's true, but I'll add that it also makes you more interesting. In any case, the tuition billed to you, even before reductions for financial aid, covered only about half of the college's actual costs to provide your education. You did get a great deal. Notably and curiously, this windfall resulted from the efforts of people that you have never actually met, but who walked these very grounds before you. Pomona College was established in the late 19th century on a dusty plain in a bankrupt hotel just a few blocks from here. And since then, it's arisen to the top rung of American undergraduate education, propelled by exceptional faculty, students, and administrators, and also by many remarkable volunteers. Some of those volunteers have of course offered wealth, but others have generously tendered themselves, their work and their wisdom in service to Pomona College. This seamless process, largely altruistic, in relaying itself torch-like from one generation to the next, explains the college's excellence today. But it's also a great demonstration of a more universal principle that I hope that you, today's graduates, will take to heart. After my junior year, a Pomona buddy and I camped around Europe. One rainy afternoon, our gas tank ran dry on the German Autobahn. So we flipped a coin, and I stepped out into the pouring rain and setting sun to hitchhike for gas. Now, you understand this is the late 60s. I've got really long hair, I've got granny glasses, and an old beat-up Volkswagen van. But almost immediately, a speeding black Mercedes pulled up right next to me, and out emerged a middle-aged gentleman in a business suit. And without hesitation, he got down on one knee and connected our car's bumpers with a chain. While we were being towed, Tom and I were astonished, and we pulled together about $10 in Deutschmarks. And when we got to the gas station, I offered this man our gratitude and our small gift. The man, still dripping wet, leaned close and said to me in broken English, no, when I'm in trouble, you help me. And then he got into his Mercedes and was off into the night. Today, when this Autobahn moment returns to me, as it often does, I certainly hear the simple pay it forward message. But I'm also struck with a deeper realization that we collectively share a burden as the current conservators of nothing less than the human spirit. Our predecessors have favored us with their beneficence and their productivity. Pomona College is one example of that. And in turn, they challenge us to respond reciprocally with generous acts of our own, before then passing that same flame to our successors. We're all in this together, and perhaps that's the essence of a thriving civilization. 3 years ago, the Gallup organization interviewed 1.3 million individuals in 125 countries to determine the relative generosity of citizens around the world. They inquired about who had recently helped a stranger, donated to a charity, or volunteered for a charity. Good news, the U.S. finished first. Now you're saying, well, sure, a wealthier nation is going to have more generous people, but the connection to wealth is not otherwise borne out in the study. For example, Myanmar finished second, closely behind the U.S. Engaging in frequent acts of generosity does not require wealth, nor is it consistently correlated with wealth. Anyone can be generous, but all is not perfect. The U.S. did quite well on the questions about charitable giving and helping strangers, but in the category of individual volunteering of time and effort to charitable work, the American response was substantially weaker. And I'm hoping that maybe that's where you come in. You may not today realize how much you have to offer. I certainly didn't 54 years ago when I was in your place. At Pomona, I did well in economics and math, but I also took courses in things like art and music and literature, and I'll just say it wasn't quite as natural for me. But I had no idea of the seeds that were being planted. Later, I was surprised to find myself migrating from careers in law and finance into major leadership roles at some very unlikely not-for-profits, including an art museum, a dance company, several research libraries, a theater company, a botanical garden, and of course, a certain liberal arts college. I didn't see any of that coming on the day of my graduation, but I can tell you that it's been incredibly, incredibly rewarding. What nonprofit organizations like these have in common is that they are driven by compelling and deeply felt ideals, by their missions. Pomona, as an example at hand, does not seek to make a profit or to judge its ultimate worth in financial terms. Rather, its purpose is to do a great job at intensely educating the leaders of tomorrow, that would be you, at a discounted price, supported by tuition, philanthropy, and volunteer time and effort. This is virtuous work, the pursuit of a calling, a mission. Such mission-driven public charities are abundant in the U.S. There's over 1.3 million of them, and they make up almost 6% of America's GDP. And they abound in their variations, dealing with education, environmental causes, animal rights, health issues, civil rights, religious faiths, the arts and humanities, and so on, promoting the human spirit almost without limit. Financial support of any kind is, of course, welcomed at such nonprofits. I have in hand here a letter dated June 3, 1939, from Pomona College to my dad, whose name is now on the campus center. Dear Mr. Smith, I want to personally thank you on the behalf of the college for your gift of $5 to the scholarship fund. Yeah, you got to start somewhere, right? So, but leaving money aside, charities across the board also seek the personal involvement of people exactly like you, having, as you do, such well-developed problem-solving skills and advanced perspectives on the world. Here's a small example. I wasn't much older than you when I got involved with my local hometown children's museum, which Sam mentioned. It quickly became evident to this econ major that the museum was being financially crushed by the rent that it was having to pay to be housed in an unused school gymnasium. So I made an appointment with the superintendent of the school district, and we sat down, and I argued, no, wait, this museum shouldn't be paying a rent at all to the school district. Rather, the school district should be paying the Children's Museum for providing such a valuable resource to the community. Now, we debated this, but he did finally agree, and this turned out to be a vital lifeline for that Children's Museum, and it's today thriving over 40 years later. In moments like these, when an insight has sharpened the course of a mission-driven organization, I have experienced immense personal gratification, often much more so than when I've been able to donate dollars. So, in your bargain with Pomona, you actually got something extra for your tuition and your hard work. You will have fulfilling careers, and you will astound everyone with how interesting you are. But you also bear skills promising a still broader impact. Find a mission that ignites your passion, perhaps based on an experience here at Pomona, and take it on. Take it on. You are the newest torchbearers in a long, reciprocating, very human tradition of altruism, one that has benefited you. And I hope you will relay this light forward as a generous volunteer. Thank you and congratulations again on this very special day.